Welcome back to the channel. Y'all already rocking with. Let's get to it. It is Monday, September the 11th, and walking outside this morning, you can feel the fall weather trying to slip on in. It was right at about 66 and felt perfect to go out and mow. Granted, as the day progressed, it warmed on back up. Just walking outside and feeling that crispy little air already, definitely a sign of some heat relief on the way. So the ones of us who've been definitely in some very heated up areas lately, just a smidge of relief is here. So we can stand up and do a round of applause that find a little bit of a break from humidity first thing in the morning. It's starting to come around. But anyway, as I said, it's September the 11th, and as we all know, in 2001, for those of us who were born, the majority of my subscribers and viewers that I associate with, I'm sure everybody was born back then. Back in 2001, when we had the horrific terrorist attack that took place in New York, in Washington, and in Pennsylvania, a big prayer and blessings to those family and victims who still to this day feel that as an open wound. I mean, that was a devastating day that will forever be remembered. It's just like I was 4th or 5th grade. I just remember I was in my classroom, as a lot of us were, and a lot of us were just on jobs, the older folks. And I was right in a classroom directly across from an Air Force base, literally down here in South Carolina. My classroom, my whole school pretty much was directly across the street from Shaw Air Force Base. And when everything started to unfold and the TVs came on and the little radios, in the classrooms, everything was focused completely on what was going on in our country that day. The learning came to a halt. Everything just was the TV, the radio, phone calls, being directly across the street from the Air Force Base. You can just imagine how many jets and everything that was starting to take off. I mean, you can remember a lot of what happened that day, you know, because it just was the day the world changed for our country. So, you know, again, blessings, and hopefully one day, you know, more of a gentle peace will fall on those who were, you know, directly impacted, even for those of us who were, you know, not, you know, directly impacted by, you know, anybody losing family or friends or anything in the events, but we all as a nation felt some type of hurt, pain, anger, and frustration from exactly what happened that day. So again, blessings to you guys and girls and families who definitely was impacted directly by those tragic events. Guys and girls, that type of grass that's in the picture you just saw in that slide prior to this piece of the video starting, I absolutely hate that grass with a passion. I call it crow's feet grass. A lot of people call it highway grass, but I also call it knock me over, I'll stand back up grass, because don't you know you can be cutting so well, and you know, you go down, you complete that pass, and you come back up to complete your next pass, and you look down the range, and lo and behold, you just knock that grass over, and it's just standing right back tall, making you have to double cut and sometimes even triple cut just to make sure you got all of that style of grass mowed down so your cut can look, you know, great. So just for humor, guys, if anybody hates that type of grass, it is me, 100%. And I know there's treatments you can do to your lawns, you know, to get rid of it, but you know, the average person is not really, you know, that much of caring about them, because as long as they can cut them or get somebody else to cut them, they don't care. But if I can do it without seeing those in any of my properties, I definitely would sign that sheet of paper in a heartbeat saying, please get rid of this type of highway grass. Guys, I hope you guys still tuned in. I'll get back with you shortly. And guys, as I'm wrapping up this video, hopefully once again you still tuned in. I hate to sound like a broken record, but you know, I really like for you guys to tune in, because I believe I dropped some things, some pointers and some tips that would help you out in the long run. As you saw in the beginning of this video here, you know, I was stopping because there were shoes and a toy that was out in the yard. granted, not every single property requires you walking it, because if you've been doing this long enough, you know just which properties you pull up to that you really have to walk, and there's some properties you pull up to you don't have to do anything but unload, do the work, get back loaded, and on to the next one. So I call those type of yards a couple of different categories. And again, the first one is unload. You get on it, you mow it, you blow it, you trim it, you edge it, and you're out of there. The second type of yard that I run into is sometimes they may, have had something going on and they didn't get everything up out of the yard, right before I came. So it's no big deal. I can stop in my tracks, pick it up, move it, get back to mowing. So I call those be a little cautious type of yard. And another category is I have to be on high alert because I know this yard has some obstacles that is going to be either hidden in the grass or just left in the middle of the yard that I'm going to have to get off and spend about 5 minutes or so trying to just get them out of the way, which is making my time on that property just a little bit longer. So in this particular video right here, I'm not sure if you're going to probably hear it, but you're not going to see exactly what it was until the end of this clip right here, I believe. But this particular yard right here is be extremely cautious for items hitting in the grass. And the reason being is because, of course, when you have kids, younger kids, they go outside. Kids go out, they play, they have a good time. And when it's time to go in the house, whatever they're playing with outside, it may be just left right there. So this particular day right here, I was mowing this property and I found a hammer. I found it once unexpectedly, and the second time, I was like, well, I saw it, so I'll miss it. Well, I got refocused into my music, and lo and behold, I hit it again. Now, granted, that could have been a costly incident waiting to happen, because my luck, those blades spinning so fast and so strong, could have shot it out, could have hit the side of the house, could have dinged, the car that was in the driveway, could have hit the wall, it could have hit anything, broken glass. But luckily, the second time I hit it, it was pointing in the opposite direction. But it just goes to show you that, when you categorize your yards, when you get out there, and once you get your route sustained, once you get those type of yards in your head that easy yards, and you got your little bit of slow down yards until you got those major, I need to really kind of not spend a lot of time walking around, because you be walking the whole yard for 15-20 minutes trying to go spot for spot trying to find stuff. But be mindful of some of those yards that you go to. They're going to be something hidden in them. I call those the extremely use caution yards. Hope you get something from that. Stay tuned, and I'll end this video shortly. And guys, just for kicks and giggles, this property, once I took it on about 2 years ago, was one of the first properties that I sent an object from under my mower through a screen of a window. Thank goodness it only punctured the screen. That was a cheap repair. That was about a $12 repair. Got it patched, got a new screen completely put in the frame. But just imagine how worse it could have been if that rock or whatever came from under my mower. I think it was ended up being a rock, if I'm not mistaken. Broke the screen. So I was cutting, and the homeowner came out and said, hey, something hit the window. I got off the mower, we both went over there, we saw the damages. I immediately took the screen with me, took it to a repair place, got a new screen put in, and we went from there. But guys, just be mindful. These homes that are being built on new properties where they're coming in, they're clearing the land, they're getting everything done in a hurry just to put that house up or whatever. And some companies are going to be thorough with cleaning the land and getting up as much debris as they can possibly. And some, once they sign that check, they're going to clear the land, they're going to do, what they're, supposed to do on paper. But there's going to be a lot of debris that is still going to be remaining at these properties. And we, as the lawn care provider for that person, should definitely be mindful of that. So guys, that's just for kicks and giggles. This property was one I damaged in the beginning. And that's why I'm extremely cautious when I go to certain places and give them these certain titles when I go out. So keep watching, guys. Well, guys and girls, as I'm wrapping up this video, hopefully you made it this far. Again, as in the last video I dropped, if you're new to the channel, do me a favor. If you enjoyed this, hit the like button, hit the subscription button. I'm going to try, even though I've said, this YouTube journey is a hard road, and I've gotten a lot of support and, feedback from my viewers, telling me just to hang on and, keep pushing the envelope. I'll take that into consideration and keep doing what I'm doing. I use some of you guys who I notice get, a lot of views. I use some of your videos as ideas. I mean, granted, there's but so much you can do when you mow and weed eat and blow off a yard. I mean, it's kind of like, seeing the same thing done, but, a different way by someone else. Some people like to mow first. Some people like to trim first. It's just all about, what works best for you. But I'm going to continue to do what I can to drop videos. Hopefully that continues to keep, your attention, keep you returning to the channel, learning from my mistakes and learning from things that, I do that you may find beneficial, because I watch so many channels and so many different things. I don't just watch, lawn care. I watch a lot of different things on YouTube. But when you watch and study, other people's content, you'll be amazed at what you put in your toolbox. You may not use it this month or, this year, but let's just say the following year, something you learn from someone else can be definitely beneficial to you. So I don't take, lightly when it comes to making sure I study what I see on YouTube when it comes to lawn care, because everybody out here, especially a lot of us who are still in the learning stages of a lot of stuff, I take a lot of what y'all do that I see works out for you guys pretty seriously and try to implement it into my business. So, as I said the other day, channels offer so much free knowledge and so much, advice, that you may not be able to physically see the person behind the video in real life and have a conversation with them, and you can have a conversation, through messaging or emails or something like that. But there's nothing more valuable to me than a actual, being able to view the work being done and watching the habits that certain people do that benefits and makes things work for them, especially in these big successful businesses. All of them had to start from right at the bottom and work their way up. And season to season, granted, it gets no easier every season. As you try to grow, there's a little bit of a stumbling block, but you can turn those stumbling blocks right into stepping stones and continue to grow and climb the mountain with your business and be successful, every year round. So you guys take that as motivation. Hopefully you tuned in long enough to hear this. I'll catch you guys on the next one. This is Simon from Grant's Lawn Care. I'm checking out of here. Sit back and enjoy the remaining parts of this video. Enjoy the last few days of September, because we're pretty much in the second week, getting ready to go into the third week of September, and the year's about to wrap up. So all we can do is get ready for the next season, which is, it may seem far away now, but the way the days and weeks and months are going by like a blink of an eye, it's coming. Guys, be safe. I'm out of here.